Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and today we're doing Marvel X-Men. I'm not even going to speak about Shaman at the table we did last time because it was, well, I'm just not going to speak about it. It was that bad. So let's just hop into X-Men, see what the achievements are, and start playing. Now for X-Men, most recognizable Marvel characters before the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So they really need to do a great job on this table. Anything less than Zen Studios' best is unacceptable here. So we need to collect 3 heroes to aid Professor in his battle on X-Men. Wait a minute. The achievement is spelled wrong. It should say collect 3 heroes to aid the Professor in his battle against X-Men. Why not collect 3 heroes to aid Professor Xavier or Professor X, which would make more sense. Spell out X-Men and finally conquer Magneto on X-Men. Alright. We'll see how much of this we can really get done. So, many series have been made of X-Men in cartoon form before the Fox X-Men movies came out, which now many X-Men movies have come out and they've turned into a complete
Charles
mess.
Xavier, we meet in battle once more.
But
in the name of humanity, I will stop you, Magneto.
this isn't
It seems
the
another
first
confrontation
group,
with
but it
Magneto
is
awaits us.
the cartoon group that you're pretty familiar with, except for it has Nightcrawler in it, who is a bigger deal than the cartoon made it out originally. Of course, since then, there's a spinning wheel that
Why do you defy your own race,
changed the
X-Men?
balls
Join me!
a lot. So, I forget, that's Colossus, yeah. And then there's Iceman, and then there's X-23 and Cyclops and Beast. It's the X-23 again, a big character that kind of got added later on. Wolverine, definitely, to Professor X. We've got some ramps and some lanes here. A platform up there that might do something. We got a 3D model of Magneto.
The time
another
of
platform.
Homo Superior is at hand.
So, lane there, shot there, cross shot there. Magneto has got some drop down targets in front of him. Storm. So we're going to try and collect each of the X-Men. Over there in the lower left we have a blue filter over the lane. I do not like that. And then there's an Iceman ramp.
The dawn
on
of
the
a new
right.
age is at hand. The age of mutant kind.
Let's try number 4, even though 4 doesn't always work. Where's the skill shot?
Cyclops, control the strength of your optic blast.
That didn't work. Hello? Well, it's a little early to say there are too many ramps, but I think I can already say there might be 1 too many ramps.
I got your hide.
Let's keep playing though.
Charles, you are so naive.
It's a Jean Grey combo,
Do not test my patience.
and he magnets the ball and then shoots it against a slingshot instead of straight down like they were doing in Ghost Rider. And that's a much better implementation of the general same concept. It slows down the
You will
gameplay,
not defeat the master of magnetism.
So, first rule, don't slow down the gameplay in a pinball game.
Stand beside me, Phoenix, or suffer the fate of all traitors to Homo Superior.
So now we've got a Phoenix ball.
Stay away from her, monster!
Now
Shoot
quick
the flashing
multiple.
lanes. Strengthen your psionic bond.
So Cyclops and Jean Grey, they're doing the whole thing where a ball represents a character again. Why did they even think this was a good idea? This is, you can't do this in pinball.
You
You can't just make a
this.
video game be a direct one-to-one translation to a pinball thing. It just won't work. So I'm just trying here to hit different lanes and keep the balls in play. Not sure if I'm really getting a jackpots or anything. It's the end of that combo.
Oh, my stars and garters.
Either I got really lucky locking that quick multi-ball, or that's an easy quick multi-ball to have.
X-Men, retreat!
So that was 5
Cyclops,
million.
control the strength of your optic blast.
And so the skill shot is blinking right there near the plunger. I'll have to see what I'm supposed to actually do to make that skill shot though. The fact that Magneto's going to grab the ball and move it around is a
Nothing
problem.
moves the blob!
Shoot
so-
the flashing lanes to distract him.
Stay where I can hurt you!
So now we're doing the Blob, which is one of the Brotherhood bad guys that aren't quite so bad guys. But I think the Blob eventually does even become an
I could probably
X-Men.
trash all you X-Men
Although
all by
almost
my
everybody
lonesome.
becomes an X-Men at some point. And there's a lot of things have changed in the X-Men comics since the cartoon and everything in the movies. So everything
It
is
seems
pretty
you
much
still need
dead
more time in the day.
and different. I think
Cyclops,
Professor
control the strength
X
of your optic blast.
is out of the picture, if not dead. So you need to get it just barely there. And man, I'm slowly adjusting here. That's the skill shot.
Excellent.
Is there a super skill shot? I don't know. Cyclops is usually in charge.
Complete.
Oh, there's.
While I concentrate.
I didn't realize you could get up there. Oh, that's cool. That puts a whole different spin on it. No pun intended. When you have a area where you can spin and get some more points above the inlane ramp. Come on, hit Magneto. Nice. Up the middle shot. Yeah, so Cyclops
You're an
is
honorable foe, Charles.
kind of in charge of the school, and the school's not at where it was before. It's on its own island, away from all the humans. The X-Men are not really important to the Marvel Universe. They're being replaced with the Inhumans, simply because Fox owns the rights to the X-Men, and thus Disney's Marvel Cinematic Universe can't use them. And so they're just replacing them with Inhumans, and by replacing them with Inhumans, they can make new characters with new abilities that are slightly different and interesting and new, instead of having to tell the same tales over and over again with Storm, Cyclops. There's one girl in white who is, or at least for the longest time, like Cyclops' girlfriend, and I forget her name, and so like Jean Grey, when she's around, is usually mad at Cyclops. Although I think most recently Jean Grey came back from the past, and now she's this younger version of herself. So it's this whole weird thing. I mean, X-Men's been going on for I think over 800 issues. So there's a lot of weird stuff, and they've changed a lot of things, and they don't even try to touch on that, and they wouldn't try to touch on it when this table came out. They want to do what people remember, not what's happening now, which is not a lot of much. So let's see, Cerebro, shoot that to spell Cerebro, I guess. Shoot that to spell Unite. Assignments. if we collect certain people, we get some interesting things. Phoenix Award if we hit that. The Phoenix is a space entity, and if Marvel is ever going to expand its space in the movie universe, the Phoenix coming in would have been a great opportunity for that to happen. Although, how can you have a story with the Phoenix and not have a story with Jean Grey through the, I don't know. This is weird. The platform just moves and it becomes a frozen over. Interesting. And then capturing Magneto puts up these barriers. He blocks off all the left lanes. Phoenix in peril. Get that magnetic frenzy. By doing that, the final flash is by hitting that. Sense the traitor. That way, move the blob. That way, halt the juggernaut. That way, danger room. And see, for the danger room, there definitely should have been a mini playfield. That's a mistake. And then here we can see the spinning storm spinner. Hopefully we can see that actually work. Omega, hurry up there. X-Gene Bioscan. And then spell X-Men. Starting each of the 4 wizard modes, at least once spells X-Men. So that's how you get that. Alright, let's get back to playing. It's been a while.
Control the strength of your optic blast.
Come on. Skill shot.
Well done, my student.
That's one of the things about Cyclops is that he's usually not completely in control of his optic power or less. And then X-Men in general is kind of this allegory for racism / disability. The Murlocs in particular in the X-Men series are the disabled because they're people that can't even pretend to look human.
We'll get him next time, Bob.
So they end up having to hide from society. And then Wolverine gets all the fanfare. And that really goes on Marvel. The fact that Marvel made like 6, 7 different Wolverine comics coming out at the same time. Wolverine is the Marvel version of Batman. Has on the DC side, Batman has like 6 different comics that'll show up in a month. They just oversaturate the market with them. Wolverine's not even that interesting of a character as far as his abilities go.
Retreat!
Cyclops, control the strength of your optic blast.
I still feel like it's a little early to judge the Sable, but it feels like it might be a little too easy to lose here. Let's see, we've got the ball glowing red, which I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan when the ball gets on fire or does any of that stuff. Well, if it happens, it needs to be right when you're getting the super jackpot, so it would make sense. But it just seems to happen for little reason. There's a lot. This was kind of like that Avengers table where all the shots are right up the center. There's just 3 targets. Star Wars Episode 5 was also kind of like this too. It's just most of the shots that you need to make are directly in the center. I guess it's slightly different in this case because
Is this supposed to hurt?
Because there are other ramps
Shoot the
and
ramp
things.
again for the next phase.
They're far back though. I'd move some of these ramps forward. That's a really crazy cross shot over there on the top right.
You won't be needing this helmet now, comrade. Hey! Psylocke, your psychic knife! Finish him!
With pleasure, Scott.
Psylocke? I didn't even know Psylocke was in this thing. Psylocke has a psychic attack, and Juggernaut is weak to psychic attacks. And that's why he wears that helmet. If you don't know who Juggernaut looks like, he is the guy on the right in the red metal armor at the very
You're
edge.
an honorable foe, Charles.
So they have to get his helmet off, and then Psylocke. Oh, is that who? Maybe that is an X-23. Oh yeah, that is Psylocke. Never mind. Yeah, that seemed really weird that the X-23 would be in the X-Men series.
Control the strength of your optic blast. Excellent.
X-Men has been going on for so long. The original team was just a completely different set of mutants. And they would have done better to not continue to name X-Men after a while. If they had just said, and they didn't for some of it, some of them did just get called X-Force and the New Mutants and other things like that, but those comics didn't work, so I guess they don't know what I'm talking about, because obviously the thing that kept getting published was X-Men.
Cyclops! Help!
And see, that is also kind of the beginning of
My way
why
is the only way.
Stay away from her, monster!
why comic book fans got that stereotypical obsession with things staying in canon
Do not test my
and got
patience.
very into collecting and having every single issue and reading everything.
You
X-Men
will
is
regret this.
probably one of the main reasons to blame for that. A series that's been going on for decades and decades with not too much rebooting going on. Not like DC's reboots, but now Marvel is rebooting too.
Cyclops, control the strength of your optic blast.
They probably could have done well too in the long run, and that's really where I guess I can only speculate is Marvel's probably and DC probably do what's the right thing
You
for
will
the
not
short
defeat
run,
the master
but
of magnetism.
at the price of the long run of comics in general.
Nothing
And they-
moves the blob!
In that
Shoot
example,
the flashing lanes to distract him.
Guess again, blob!
in this example, the X-Men, if they had taken a break for 10 years and then they came back, and then they took a break and came back every now and then, it would have given some time to people to
Keep him
rest
off
up
balance.
on seeing too much of it and let them do a better job at telling
where I
good
can
news
argue.
stories. In the end, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to have to do the same. This is also what the Star Wars series
Nice job, Kurt.
needed, and that's why it was a few years between Episode 3 and Episode 7, and it's a totally
The
different team
danger
telling
room
a
is
different
adjusted to
story.
challenge your special power.
So the Danger Room is a 4-ball multi-ball, maybe?
Stand beside me, Phoenix, or suffer the fate of all traitors
Seems
to
like
Homo
it's not
Superior.
that hard to get a Phoenix
Cyclops!
multi-ball.
Help!
Stay away from her, monster!
Shoot the flashing lanes.
See, I don't think it's really fair to call Magneto a monster. He has never been written or played up as a monster. None of the bad guys really in the X-Men series are monsters. They're people with different ideologies, different ways of thinking, or maybe just pure selfish or evil intent, but not heartless, mindless creatures that are only out to destroy. Maybe there's somebody like that, but I don't think
You
there is.
will regret this.
X-Men has always been a little bit more mental
Do not test my patience.
So what am I trying to do? Shoot a lit lane. Where's the lit lane? Might be blocking the lit lane because of the hitting the flipper so much. The lit lane is at the top right, and I missed it. Oh well. Felt like the ball just curved
The time of
magnetically to the
Hermo's
left flipper
superior
there
is
a
at
second
hand.
ago. Just more and more of this. Again, this just feels like one of those tables where you can keep the ball going and still not really start the missions you're trying to start.
Stand beside me, Phoenix.
Like,
Or suffer the fate of all
how many of these
traitors to
multi-balls?
Hermo's superior.
Cyclops! Help!
And there I hit the lane when I didn't need to hit it.
Stay away from her, monster!
Now I'll hit the
Shoot the flashing lanes. Strengthen your psionic bond.
Jean Grey and Cyclops are supposed to have this psychic bond.
You will regret this.
They're not together, so it's kind of like the Spider-Man Mary Jane thing all over again, although slightly different. I think Marvel's writers would be alright with having Jean Grey and Cyclops get back together for a short time. Emma Frost is the name of the girl that he was dating for the longest time.
The dawn of a
And
new
she's
age is at hand.
Effectively just
The age of mutant
Jean
kind.
Grey by a different name, but
Now what,
there you go.
my old
Frenzy.
friend?
What am I trying to hit now? It wants me to hit the center, so I'll hit the center if I can. If I can quit losing balls. Well, I better quit losing balls because I no longer have the safety net of the ball
Do not
saver.
test my patience.
Nope, nope. There are supposed to be missions I'm starting here. I'm just not
Charles, you're so
accomplishing them.
naive.
A lot of blinking things, and yet
You will not defeat the
Not
master
working.
of magnetism.
it really feels like there should be a sink-in target back there. Yeah, but there isn't. Way too often getting magnetized here. That's something
Stand beside
that
me,
should have
Phoenix,
happened
or suffer the fate of
like-
all traitors to Homo Superior.
during
Cyclops!
the multi-ball, but he grabs the balls magnetically. Not
Stay away from her, monster!
just randomly.
Shoot the flashing lanes. Strengthen your psionic bond.
So we got it finally. Center lane shots.
You will regret this.
Center lane shots. Now that we strengthened our psionic bond, do I have to get one ball past him while the other one is being magnetized? Or what?
Stop that!
Maybe I get the Phoenix ball past him and not the... Oh, darn it. Still didn't finish it. Easy to start missions, difficult to finish. We've seen this cliche before.
Now what, my old friend?
Professor, look out!
Shoot the ramps, and then the center targets. Don't lose your focus.
Now, I wouldn't say that the original 3 X-Men movies are totally bad, made by Fox. And they really tell a story and play up a story that's not getting told here. I mean, Magneto is calling him his old friend and all of this,
Do not
but
test my
we really
patience.
don't know the backstory and the reason why Magneto is the way he is, and it's
Why do
actually
you defy your own race?
usually a pretty good
Join me.
backstory, pretty good reason. Like, growing up in Nazi Germany, he's seen what humans can do to other people who are slightly different. He's afraid what people would do to the mutants who are really different. So there's a lot of acting on fear, which is almost never the right way to act, but sometimes is the right way to act, actually. And so through his own fear and lack of faith in humanity, he decides to be the bad guy and try to take over the world so he's in control, and his people, as he sees it, he sees that dichotomy. It's not single sentient beings, it's humans versus mutants, and it will always be humans versus mutants.
It seems you
We saw a little bit of a
lock
lock up there too. This is one of those old engine tables, I think, that lock up.
Well done, my student.
That is kind of weird that some tables just perform worse than other tables, but it certainly seems to be the case. The older the table is, you're going to see some slight lockups which are not acceptable in pinball. Lockups and lagging is not acceptable in any game, but particularly in pinball, where you're trying to subconsciously calculate the vectors and speeds of the ball. If that changes because of the game not representing it correctly, then you're going to lose, and in a very unfair way. Okay, so strengthen the psionic bonds again, which means get that one shot on the top right.
You will not
Ramp.
defeat the master of magnetism. Stop that! No! I am power! I cannot lose!
We defeated him. Good. Finally.
Now what, my old friend?
Now we go.
Professor, look out!
Shoot the ramps, and then the center targets. Don't lose your focus.
It's the same mission that we just did. The ramps and the center targets. It's the same mission, just slightly changed. But I got 58 million there. I can't complain about that. Cannot complain about 58 million points. Did that put me over the 2 billion point? Yes, it did. And so we've been playing for about 30 minutes, and we'll continue to play, but frankly, this table does have some problems.
Cyclops, control the
You
strength of your
they could have done
plasma.
better. I'm not gonna say immediately right now that it's a bad table, but it doesn't feel like they put enough effort in it, considering this is X-Men. We're not getting really a reference to Iceman. We're not getting a reference to Colossus. We're not really getting a reference to Wolverine. We haven't heard him say bub once, and he says bub all the time. In the cartoon, at least. Like, we've heard more references to...
X-Men, retreat!
What was her name? I forgot. Now, also, the X-Men don't fight Magneto all the time, too. So
Well done, my
they could have certainly had Magneto and the Brotherhood, at the very least, play a bigger role here. But there's also a ton of other enemies.
You will not defeat the master
too
of
many
magnetism.
enemies for the X-Men, and way too many
Nothing
X-Men
moves the
characters
blob!
in general.
Shoot the flashing lanes to distract him.
I could probably trash all you X-Men all by my lonesome. Keep him off balance.
So we're going for all these ramps. Now, the next shot that they want me to make has to be made with the upper left
We'll get him next time, bub.
and there's no way to get it. Oh, he just said bub then. We'll get him next
Cyclops,
time.
control the strength of your optic blast.
This launcher doesn't even look like Cyclops' visor. It's like Cyclops' visor turned 90 degrees, maybe. And we're missing some people here. Gambit's missing. Jubilee's missing.
I got your hide.
Kitty Pryde is missing.
The time of
A lot of these characters were added to other
hand.
comics, cartoons, and such, but Emma Storm, of course.
The battle is over before it's truly
Emma
begun.
Snow. No, Emma Still. Whatever her name was. That was an easy loss. The thing is, I could probably, even not being
Control
a
the
real
strength
fan
of your
of
optic
X-Men,
blast.
I could probably sit here and think of 20 more characters
Excellent.
that should be on this table. And if they were going to do Marvel licenses, they could have done an X-Men collection in itself.
We need to know more about your mutant power.
Interesting.
Shoot the flashing platform to complete the bioscan.
So, we got a
Let's test the
bioscan
limits of your remarkable
upgrade.
strength, Colossus.
Interesting.
Hit the bumpers.
Hit the bumpers. Where are the bumpers? They're like back there with the storm. Storm spinner that we're never going to get spinning. Yeah, I do not like where the pop-up bumpers are, actually, because I'm not hitting them. I don't even know how you get the ball up there. Yeah, I have no idea how
You
you
will
even
not
get the ball
defeat the master
over
of magnetism.
to those bumpers. So them being upgraded has proven them to be a useless reward. The shape-shifting girl, what's her name? Mystique, yeah. Mystique is totally missing. They made a big deal about her in every
Dawn
single
of a new
X-Men movie.
age is at hand. The age of mutant kind.
Finally got the ball near that.
X-Men, retreat!
Cyclops, control the strength of your optic blast.
Let's see. Nightcrawler is here, but his reference is not doing
Got your
much.
hide.
Yeah, pretty much that is the case for all these
We'll get
characters.
him next time.
Even if they have a painting on the backboard, they're not getting an element that really represents their ability or them in any way. Storm's spinning
Well
wheel
done.
kind of would make sense if it was always spinning, but
Cyclops!
it's not.
Stay away from her, monster!
Shoot the flashing lanes. Strengthen your psionic bond.
Flashing lane, shoot the flashing lane, strengthening a psionic bond. Almost made it up that lane. There we go. Now, get him. Center shots. Not enough. There's a sneak in over there. I didn't even know there was a sneak in there.
You will regret this.
And they're not covering the main fear of the Sentinels and the Mutant Registration Act, which kind of is the exact same thing as the Superhuman Registration Act. and that they're talking about now in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Same idea. They just take it one step further in the X-Men series, and eventually in the future
Do
they
not
create
test my patience.
machines called Sentinels that hunt down mutants and pretty much prove Magneto right. Put them in camps and try to kill them, and they make a nightmare scenario. I think the Sentinels eventually break free of the control of the humans too, and then it's only mutants that are left because the humans get killed quicker by the machines they built themselves.
Xavier speaks of building bridges between man and mutant. I prefer to destroy man's bridges.
Iceman, form a new bridge before someone falls. Over to the right. On it, Psych.
So I'm trying to hit that upper right
See you mess
switch
with me,
here,
Magneto.
and then that forms the beginning of the bridge. And how many times do I have to hit that ramp? And only that ramp. Oops. Broke the bridge. So you have to hit the right bridge without hitting the left bridge. Alright. So you'd have to get really good at transferring the ball over this way. Like this. Then get really good at locking the ball and making that shot. Which I definitely am not. It's a pretty tight shot too. I'm no expert at flipping the ball from one to the other.
You will need to help me, Iceman.
See, this is Iceman's mission. Just make a bridge with ice. You can kind of see why Iceman isn't one of the best known X-Men characters. His ability, compared to some of the other people's abilities, not the best.
Nothing can stop the Juggernaut!
So that was a failed mission. And we have 6 X-Men that will join kind of through as a random reward. And then 4 missions on top of that. And 16 million is not that bad, but it really took me barely 16 minutes to get that 16 million.
Control the
Which
strength of
means
your
this is one of
class.
those high scoring tables where you get a million for doing very little.
Excellent.
Particularly since I don't think I'm playing that well. It doesn't feel like I'm playing that well. But a lot of that is also the table. Will the table allow me to play that well? Or is this table going to be a difficult table? Just going through loops, going up lanes, not really accomplishing anything, not starting a mission.
Got your hide.
Surprising
You will
that
not
there's
defeat
no
the
mini
master of
playfield
magnetism.
here, or a like dot matrix mini game. We could use 1 or 2 more of those, I would say. X-Men in particular is just a huge field of characters to cover, so if there was ever a table where it would be justifiable to have slightly too much
We need to know
in it.
more about your mutant power. Shoot the flashing platform to complete the bioscan.
So, was I supposed to only hit the first one, or was I supposed to hit them all? Don't lose the ball.
Stand beside me, Phoenix, or suffer the fate of all traitors to Homo Superior.
Cyclops! Help!
Don't you see?
Come to
My
think of
way
it,
is the only way.
I don't believe Magneto can claim a new species name there. He can't create Homo superior for the mutants because I do not believe it has ever been an instance in any of the mutants, maybe, but I am not a huge X-Men fan or anything. So maybe somebody in the comments can tell me if they know, if they've watched every single comic book or TV show or whatever. Has there ever been a turn of events where the mutants could not breed with humans? Because that's where de-speciation scientifically begins, is when you can no longer have a offspring that can have kids themselves, then you have made a different species. So the difference there is you can have a mule and a donkey, and they will crossbreed and make a JA
Cyclops,
is what it's
control the
called.
strength of your optic flash.
I don't want to say it out loud, try to stay kid friendly, but the JA cannot have kids themselves, and so that's why they're different species. As far as I understand, in the X-Men universe, humans can totally have kids
Mystique's here, Psych.
that
I can smell her.
with
Fall over,
mutants,
Sent
and
Logan. Find her.
the kids that a mutant, say,
Nice to
mother
see you,
and
Logan.
a regular
Though the
human
Mystique isn't
father
My mother
has a decent chance of not even having powers, but at the very least, scientifically, they've never said anything about them being infertile. So, assuming the child of a mutant human crossbreeding would be fertile, and they would be able to have kids themselves. So, therefore, scientifically here, same species. It's just a mutation in the species, not a complete diversion or different path. That's really boring scientific talk,
Retreat!
which goes to show I'm kind of bored with this table.
control the strength of your
Anytime I
optic
start talking about something else, it's like, oh, you're bored with this table. And truth is, yeah, I kind of am.
Bet you're glad of my healing powers.
You're doing
now,
the same
eh,
thing
bud?
over and over again, and getting the ball magnetized a ton of time. You're getting the ball thrown in random directions. I'm starting the Phoenix quick multi-ball too much. The
You
two
will
missions
not defeat the master of magnetism.
are pretty much exactly the same. I've only started the Brooklyn Bridge actual mission, and I've only gotten the bonus multiplier once. Let's see. I just eliminated the
So, you
thing
finally
there.
found me. Expect no more than your defeat, X-Men.
So now we're going to Cyclops shoot this. Oh, there's a diverter. I didn't realize that diverter. So I need to go in the top right, I think, and shoot again from Cyclops' view for some reason. And he's blocking past. Shoot the lit lane to recharge Cyclops ball. So I think I have to hit him with the Cyclops ball. And the game is kind of trying to help me here.
Cyclops, control the strength of your optic blast.
But see, that Cyclops ball is already gone.
I got your hide.
So it's not that it needs to be charged up.
You are an honorable foe, Charles.
So no clue whatsoever what to do, what I was supposed to do there. We've done 2 missions right now.
Control the strength of your optic blast.
Just want to get the ball out there and keep on playing. Another great table. Anytime I'm losing balls like crazy, like I am now, another great table where a practice mode would be very, very helpful. Just infinite amount of balls. You can activate whatever you can activate. Your score can go up as high as you want, but it's just not saved to the leaderboards.
The time of Homo Superior is at hand.
I don't think scientists would ever pick the phrase superior to describe a species.
You
That's
will regret this.
pretty biased.
I got your hide.
It would have to be. They would call him Homo mutanus or something. Something else. I don't know what they'd call it. It would have to
The dawn
describe
of a
the
new age is at
mutations
hand.
or special
The age of
powers.
mutant kind.
Nothing moves the blob!
There is also something weird about the mutants too, that it's not like a mutation in one person gets passed on to the next generation. So Cyclops' laser beam eyes does not mean there's a good chance his children get laser beam eyes. It just means
It seems
there'll
you
be
still need
mutants
more
and
time.
that they'll get their own special magical thing, because this is just a story about special magical people with
Well
each
done,
with unique
Maestro.
abilities.
Now what, my old friend?
It would be the equivalent
Shoot the ramps.
if everybody
Then the center
just had
targets.
a random
Don't lose
number
your
of
focus.
fingers on their hands, and there was no uniformity in humans, the human species. Just every time you're born, you might have 100 fingers, you might have 2. It's just random. And that's not likely to happen. You see in polluted water
You
sometimes
will not
fish
defeat the master
that
of
have
magnetism.
crazy mutations, but they usually can't survive to the point of being able to breathe or are sterile anyways. And that's kind of where
Charles, you are
the
so
mutants are.
naive.
They're so random, so different. It's not subtle, small changes like this person is a foot taller than everybody else. It's this person can teleport to a different dimension, or this person can shoot ice out of their hand.
Stand beside me, Phoenix, or suffer the fate of all traitors to Homo Superior.
Cyclops! Help!
And see, Magneto always puts himself as the person in charge.
Don't you see, Jean? My way is the only way.
I don't even know if you could do a TV show or a Netflix series on X-Men. Fox tried to do some TV shows, several of them actually, and never got anywhere with it. Once you have real world actors,
between man and mutant.
you can't
I prefer to
suspend
destroy
the
man's
disbelief
bridges.
for more than a couple
Iceman,
hours.
form a new bridge before someone falls. Over to the right.
On it, Psych.
And I'll play one more time. We've been playing for 48 minutes, but if I was just playing myself, I would
Control the strength
stop.
of your optic blast.
Would I come back to this table? It needs a lot of work before I would. The angles are bad. There's one too many ramps. The magnetizing
You
ball shooting
will
it like
regret
that
this.
is annoying. The missions are kind of annoying. The quick multi-ball happens too often. What would I add or change here? I would add a lot more story. I kind of do love X-Men, and we're not getting a lot of X-Men story stuff going on here.
Charles, you are so
It's just like the X-Men characters on a pretty generic table.
Silence, please, while I concentrate.
Like I said at the beginning, they needed to put their best men on this. Zen Software, and I don't think they did.
Professor, look out!
I don't
Shoot the
think
ramps.
this
and
was
then
the
center
best effort
targets.
they could have done.
Don't lose your focus.
Definitely needs a mini field, definitely needs more to it, more characters, more story. Why there isn't a Sentinel attack as one of the missions makes no sense. I have no idea when the timeline is even supposed to be here for this table, because I don't know when Psylocke and the Iceman and Colossus and Wolverine and Phoenix would all have been together as a team. Like, I'm not sure there is a point in the comics where that would have occurred. There should have been slightly more for Charles Xavier to do here, just sitting here in a wheelchair. They did nothing with the X-Jet, which is a big deal, at least in the cartoons. Maybe I'm coming from it as somebody who's watched the cartoons a lot more than they've read the comics, which is
You will
certainly
not
true.
defeat the master of magnetism.
I just don't feel like you're getting the proper fan service
Stand
here.
beside me, Phoenix, or suffer the fate of all traitors to Homo Superior.
Cyclops! Help!
I would have thought Phoenix would have been like Phoenix multi-ball
Don't you
would have
see,
been
Gene?
like 4-ball
My way is
multi-ball
the only way.
or something. I wouldn't have thought it would have been the
You
quick
will
multi-ball.
regret this.
Stay away from her, monster!
Shoot the flashing lanes. Strengthen your psionic bond.
We can defeat him. Let's defeat him one more time.
Stop that! You are surely strong, but I am a force of nature. You cannot halt me forever.
I defeated him, but I also lost the ball.
Cyclops, control the strength of your optic blast.
How did that happen?
Well done, my student.
How did I
Shoot
defeat
the
him
flashing lanes
and
to
lose
distract
the
him.
ball in the same section? Shouldn't I still have a ball locked up there at the top? I think the game may have bugged out there. Feels like it did.
Stay where I can hurt you!
And again, we are doing the blob again. Never got the storm
X-Men, retreat!
spinner, and I really wanted to see that work, but it's not happening. It's actually kind of strange there isn't a spinner somewhere here to get more points on an out lane or loop or something. Could have put a trapdoor under the ramp. Those are always fun. Considering you have Magneto here, there was a lot more room to do with magnetic
Nothing can
toys.
stop the Juggernaut!
I would have at the very least changed the center lane instead of being 3 drop-down targets into a magnetic box that's fun.
I'm coming to get
Around.
you, Chuck!
Could have been a silver box with an X symbol on
Hurry
it.
up. Don't let him escape.
Wants me to do that top right.
Poor little Chuck's team has let him down again.
So I didn't succeed, I ran out of time. It's always annoying to run out of time in a mission.
Xavier's dream is dead.
And 16 million. So, yeah. I wouldn't say it's a bad table, just not a good enough table for X-Men. And that's what's gonna really irritate, I think, irritates me, I think it's gonna irritate X-Men fans, is that there will be better tables of the collection if you have enough tables in Pinball FX to beat that. So our high score got us 58 million, which is quite high, and that gets us past the 2 billion point as far as all of our high scores combined, giving us a super score of 2,036. Multiply that by the 52 tables we've played now, and that's 105,872 for a wizard score. Did we get any of the achievements? No. Collect 3 heroes? Nope. Spell out X-Men? No way. Didn't get anywhere close to that. Now the all-time high score is actually incredibly low. This is strange. Very, very strange. Only 1.2 billion amongst the people that are probably cheating. They didn't even get that high. That is actually almost 20 times what I made. Like 58 million. You double that, it would be 116 million. You multiply that by 10, that's 1,160 million. So, if I didn't know these names, that these people certainly are cheating on the other tables, I would say that they very well could have maybe gotten that high score. Or, now I have to reevaluate everything I've said up to this point, assume that there has been no cheating anywhere, which is highly unlikely on any leaderboard. People cheat on leaderboards all the time, and say that this was a legitimate score. And I don't think I'm ready to believe that. That would be very naive to believe. So, I would say at least they're good, getting better here. Only moving up 100 million or so between each score. Here's Jean Grey. Jean Grey has a super high score here. Some character named Jean Grey. So super score still, lots of cheating there, that never changes. And then Pinball Wizard score, lots of cheating there. Challenge, no friends. Pinball King, no friends. And local high score, they only expected you to get 10 million. So I did 6 times better than what they expected, which I haven't been tracking how much better I did versus their local high scores, but usually I would say maybe 6 times, in the sense that I on average beat the top high score 6 times. Here I only did it 4, and then 4 times I was below that high score. So, yep. If I played this some more, I probably could fill this whole board up if it mattered. But I don't know if I'm really gonna play X-Men that much. I think I'd rather go back and play Ghost Rider, just for its unique elements and just a different style of playing. A Ghost Rider and Excalibur are 2 tables that will be breaths of fresh air compared to playing a lot of these other tables that are just the same thing over and over again. Easy to lose, too many ramps, too simple, just not understanding how pinball is at all. And again, I said I wasn't going to talk about this one. That was so bad. Next time we're going to do the final Star Wars pinball, Boba Fett. Again, just like X-Men, Boba Fett's a big character in Star Wars. There's no reason that this shouldn't be great. And then after we do the final Star Wars, we do Blade, and then we do Tesla, and then we go back to Iron Man, and then we do El Dorado. Oh, and then we're going to go back and forth between the remaining Marvel and independent tables, and we'll finish on Sorcerer's Lair. So we're getting close now. We're getting very, very close to finishing this whole series. It's been a long one. Thank you if you've been watching through it. It's been going on for a very long time, and I just really have no idea how to schedule long series like this when you're doing an hour each. Do you let it go for 4 months, potentially, of just one series, or do you put out 5 hours a day, every day, so it only goes for a little bit less than a month? Yeah, that's something I'm still struggling with quite a bit. that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps out. If you want to support me further, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right is a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.